Welcome to Karina's Custom Arena,
where the competition is fierce
and the community
unstoppable.
From Apex Legends gunfights
So far, gonna push through. Can he get it? That's the
to epic Tekken 8 clashes.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
and wild team brawls in Marvel Rivals.
And a triple for the side of Psylocke, possibly a
CCA brings you tournaments across today's most exciting games.
With cash prizes, brackets, and spotlight moments all wrapped into one. And don't forget about Karina's Custom Arcade.
Earn Karina coins just by playing, watching, or helping during events.
Then cash them in for consoles, controllers, gift cards, and more. So what are you waiting for?
Join the community, enter a bracket, and start your journey
At Karina's Custom Arena.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the final round of your Apex season, or the Apex Championship that started off yesterday in sensational style. We saw on broadcast at least the first lobby, and we had a second lobby running as well. The top 10 teams from both are now comprising the finals. My name is Joseph Black, aka Cockcast. I took you through alongside Cherry round one, but we got Inflict here today for the finals.
Yeah, and I am absolutely exciting. I was going over the stats. I didn't get to watch the whole lobby yesterday, unfortunately, but I went over some of the stats, and some of the teams here are ridiculous. There's one that's particularly coming to mind right now, but we're going to talk about a specific team later. But there's all kinds of talent here. We have teams that like to play very passively. We have teams that like to rush every single person that they see. So a lot of different play styles that we're about to witness in this final lobby, and the grand and try a shot at the grand prize of $300 US. Of course, you could add more into it using the link, I believe, which is pinned on the Twitch chat if you're watching on Twitch. But there's the standings as you can see it. Goon Gang is the single team that had more than 100 points, and they were sitting at 140 points, by the way, in lobby number one, and they were absolutely menacing for everybody else.
Yeah, we had 6 rounds yesterday, and Goon Gang won 4 of them on broadcast, and they didn't just do so passively. They went all guns a-blazing, and, they ended up the top of both the rounds. But you can see that's the combined results of the first 2 lobbies, or the first 2 rounds, as it were. Goon Gang taking at the top. CIMJ actually top of lobby 2, but they're in second place. Then zapped them from lobby 1 by fire from lobby 2, and it's interchanging. Titans, it's going to be an interesting team to watch, as they were very, very passive yesterday. The most defensive team I think we saw, and they ended up getting to the final 4 pretty much every single time, and then a few more teams in there, as well as the HYK, who ended up qualifying in that 10th place because their position was handed over to them. And we have a team that only played in 1 round but made it through to the finals. But I believe we'll be able to get us going in a couple of minutes' time for what should be a very, very good day. And we're straight into it with a bit of this action. We've already got HYK into it. They were so aggressive yesterday because they knew they had to get those elimination points on the board, and they did so. They actually were level with 2 other teams on points, but they made their way through to the finals in sensational style. 15 points was enough to qualify them. Shinobi already out of this one. We're down to 19 squads and 57 players. So for Shinobi, they're already on the back foot as far as points go.
Yeah, HYK actually made it into this lobby on a technicality because one of the teams from lobby number 1, I believe, couldn't make it today. So since HYK were the 11th ranked team, they are going to be the ones that get a chance at this, and we're going to have to wait and see if they can prove that they deserve to be here or not. But right now we see another engagement going down. This is Titans. They might as well be fighting Goon Gang right now, because I believe they landed next to each other. But on the other end, Benelux Goats have been eliminated as well. So a pretty aggressive lobby from the looks of it so far, as we are only left with 54 players, I believe, only a few minutes into the game.
Yeah, we are. Well, we're flying through it as we start off in this one. 18 squads remaining, 2 already down, and we're seeing a lot of kills. KDJ becoming the 3rd team eliminated from this first round of matchups, and this could be a 4th as Trash try to push forward and break the enemy shield of the Altar, which was banned after the first round yesterday of matchups, and we could be seeing the same thing today. Pathfinder gone down for Trash, and they have 2 left. The Gibraltar is going to be the one that's going to try and pressure from the outside, but they've got one other player right in the action, and the Gibraltar actually split up from the rest of the team, so that is going to be a huge disadvantage for them. Goon Gang are looking to attack early, got a little bit of damage off, a bit more damage there on the pop shot of the player that was trying to rotate, and Future Streams attacking early, despite the fact that he's playing a passive character in Lifeline.
Oh yeah, I don't think Goon Gang understand the word passive themselves, given how aggressive they are. They got another knockdown. That was, I believe, negative getting a kill with a rampage. It's still just a knockdown, but they're looking for even more. SYV, I believe, did end up finishing a player early on. But right now they're on the hunt for more, as I believe they're pretty certain Negative's gonna end up confirming the kill, and they're pretty spread apart from each other. They have practically no worries, and as you said, even the Lifeline on their team is playing extremely aggressively. So no wonder they ended up getting out with 140 points yesterday. It's just going to be a question of whether somebody can shut them down from the other lobby this time. And okay, HYK now trying to hunt Goon Gang down, and they've already taken Negative down, and now they're trying to push up further. They do have an Ash, so they could potentially use an ultimate to land right on top of them, and SYV goes down as well, so this is starting to look like a really advantageous fight for HYK.
And in the background, Mainframe and 3 Brazilians both getting eliminated, as HYK are in the depths of this battle and just trying to recover their positions. Exeter trying to attack here and trying to put the pressure on the player that's in the corner. Negative goes down, and SYV gets taken down as well. So it's a 2-team, or it's a 3-team battle even. The Pathfinder very low on health, but able to take down SYV, and Zesty Besties have been eliminated as HYK find themselves in the storm. And, well, this round 1 is not going to do too much damage to them. And, well, hopefully they'll be able to make their way out and rotate perfectly. We saw a couple of teams backed into corners yesterday, but HYK I don't think are going to be one of those teams, especially in round 1, where they're just trying to rotate. And, yeah, they are they're getting back into the zone. They're getting sorted with themselves. Just in this game, they've had a good start. They've had an aggressive start, and well, they're certainly going to come out all guns are blazing and well, punching.
Well, now they're getting shot at from somewhere else. The Ash having to duck down a bit. I believe that's one of their teammates that got tagged up a little bit as well. The Revenant getting into some really risky situation, because if they have to take a fight here and they do not get to heal up, then they might be in massive trouble. The Ash trying to hold one player back while the rest of their team moves in closer, but the situation, they eventually are gonna have to make a move. They got tagged down massively, and Goon Gang have been eliminated. The key team of this lobby are one of the first ones to go. They were the 13th team in this lobby confirmed. And HYK really proving their worth in this one, even though they got in just by technicality.
Yeah, HYK in at the last minute yesterday, and well, there's a few other teams that made it through comfortably that have been struggling. CIMJ though did not struggle, and they're flying out of the gates. 1 kill so far for the Revenant, as well, he tries to rotate now, getting that 1 knockdown, and well, their teammate Leovic is the new kill leader, which is a very, very good stat to hold at this point, which it just means that you get as many points as you can on the board. Don't forget, you get 50 points on the board, you have an opportunity and a shot at taking that win, but they're going to have to rotate far, as the epicenter of the action is going to be the epicenter towards the latter stages of this contest. DZ Esports are just outside that predicted zone, And, well, they're looking to take a similar strategy to what the Titans did yesterday. As it appears that being defensive, backing off, playing passive, it worked in Lobby 1, but it might not work quite as well in the finals.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be wise about what fights you end up taking. And honestly, Gunyam, I'm pretty sure they were just practically busy looting when HYK showed up. So maybe that's why they ended up getting caught with their pants down. But right now, one player on the side of CIMG, who were the leaders of the second lobby, have gotten one of their teammates knocked down. They might be able to pick them back up, but they're not entirely in a safe area right now. The environment's pretty open, and they have no idea where the rest of this player's teammates are, but they end up picking them off. 3R have been eliminated as well, and that's gonna put us down to only 10 teams remaining. This has been such an aggressive lobby so far into the mix here, and it seems like the fights just are not gonna stop anytime soon.
Yeah, when you get to the point of the finals, which is where we're at now, that they tend to get some teams tend to feel like they've got a little bit less to lose, and so they attack just that little bit more. And at the moment, this is exactly what we're seeing with a few of the teams like Zapsum and with CIMJ, as well as the Revenant comes under a lot of pressure, but just gets out of there, or the Ash even gets out of there, gets the shield bat off. And will look to attack again, but they know that they have another player in their vicinity, and hoping to try and pressure them. HYK have one player down now, and well, that is in fact the Revenant, as the Ash and the Pathfinder try to push. I think the Ash is it was a quite utilized character yesterday. I believe it was the third character to be removed as the bow check comes out, and that is a decent amount of chip damage. But the shield thrown up is going to get in the way. HYK's Revenant being down is not going to be for very much longer, as the Pathfinder gets the revive off. But yeah, I think it's going to be just sniping from distance at the moment from the Ash, and that is a decent bit of damage.
Yeah, well, this person has been extremely good with that bow and arrow, the bow check. It continues to deliver on 2 players on the side of HYK. They've gotten 2 players knocked down, I believe, now. And now they just want to finish the players off, and they got both of the kills confirmed. The ultimate was popped in by the Revenant, even though they are practically living with no HP whatsoever. The circle's closing in, and they're just trying to keep the players on bay as weak as they possibly can, because so that they can be prepared to take the fight as soon as they enter into the ring and put up some really good points. And so far, HYK, they've set themselves up in a pretty sweet spot in terms of the points that they already have gathered.
They're in a pretty nice place right now, and they're just getting those points on the board early doors, even if they don't get those placements. A smaller zone though, around 3, with quite a few players left, as some of the teams have decided to go defensive. LICS being one of them, and just the Revenant backing off, desperately trying to get those heals off. Makes me think that they're practicing for late game, and they're preparing themselves for late game at the very least as well. But yeah, I think it's just a couple of teams that are taking that back for LICS, trying to counter now, and they may well be able to get this one off, as no, they now do decide in the end that they are actually going to rotate around and rotate to the ring. CIMJ just outside of it, and well, the Titans still in it, and what do you know, only 1 assist for Donda here, and I don't imagine there's too many more kills for the rest of the team.
Yeah, they're currently sitting with, I'm pretty sure, 0 and 1 kill, I think. But Donda, I remember, did end up getting a knockdown earlier on, but perhaps the kill could not get confirmed, and they're sitting right below another team right now. So this could go pretty reckless at any given moment. But Grandmaster Gooners right now, they're just trying to heal back up. They're the team that are sitting right above Donda and Co right now. So but they seem like they just got out of hell. So they're not gonna be very welcoming of another fight anytime soon. While they can probably hear these players just running around under them. So it should be exciting to see when do they decide to take a fight, because right now they're in the very middle of the circle, so they should be safe just hanging out in that corner for quite a while.
Yeah, hanging out, just testing themselves, sitting in the corner. 8 squads left, 24, so that is 8 squads of 3 remaining. which means that this game is very balanced out. And we're going to get to round 4 here with all these players in close proximity. This is going to be pretty crucial for all of these teams as Spartan Limit goes down to the hands of Ange with the bow check. I think there's a couple of bow checks out there, in fact, and that's just, it's spicing it up because there's a lot of snipers thrown out. We've seen a G7 used, the 30-30 on Group Tie, for example, on the Zaptum. And, well, this is a completely different setup for the other teammate, R301, and Mozambique shows the teamwork that's been thrown out. But that's a huge frag, getting a huge amount of damage off, and this is the opportunity for Zaptum to push.
They go ahead. They finally spot the players out. A nice bit of damage, but no knockdowns confirmed just yet. A shield crack. They did finally achieve it, but they're going to have to rush down a bit further. Zapped him. They have closed out the gap, but it seems like the other team did manage to heal up before they ran down further, but is it going to be enough? The Ash almost getting knocked there. Barely surviving, and extra lots have been eliminated, and from the looks of it, Grandmaster Gooners have engaged into a fight as well, but CIMJ, they've already lost a teammate, another one knocked down. It's only come down to Leo, who's trying to keep his team alive in this lobby. They are doing pretty well so far, 4 kills, 6 assists on just Leo alone, so his team generally might be running around pretty rich in terms of points, but will they be able to live around longer or not is the question. 7 squads remaining. CIMJ might just be the next one to fall. They do pick up both of the banners, and okay, this might actually turn out not so bad by the end. Titans have been eliminated, so that's going to leave us with 6 squads as we head down towards I believe one of the final few circles here. But the teammates on the side of CIMJ should be respawning now, while on the other hand, Zaptum still continuing their fight this time around.
We've lost Titans, so I don't think the passive play is working at this point, as well as Zaptum looking to try and pressure that other team. But they got the it's fair to say they lost that early skirmish, so they're just trying to recover. Yeah, this might not turn out very well if you stick to a particular playstyle, because again, this is the playoffs. You are going to face off different sorts of teams, ones who are very aggressive, ones who are very passive. You're just going to have to adjust accordingly and see what works out the best for you. Zaptum getting eliminated. They were one of the more aggressive teams so far into this one already. CIMJ are surviving as well, and HYK actually, the teams that did eliminate the sort of favorites heading into this one, are seemingly in a tough spot as well. Ooh, the Pathfinder barely getting out of there, but they still have their teammates who are sticking around the corner. They've barely made it into the circle so far, and they themselves have gathered quite a lot of points. Oh, that's a really good shot with the Peacemaker. 100 damage at that range is absolutely insane. It really is. That is, well, that's where the Peacekeeper is most potent. It is at close range, and it's just getting those shots off. If you can get 100% of those shots off, regardless of whether it's a headshot or not, it is so much damage. I think, though, this game has generally been the case that the SMGs have been the preferred weapon, which is why you're seeing a lot of R99s and a lot of Volts thrown out there. Although I think if you can get a Peacekeeper right, basically, if you have more faith in your skill, you are going to be much better with a shotgun. But I think the SMG is a more reliable option, which a lot of teams are taking. DZ Esports, by the way, no shield on any of their players. They're trying to take the Titans approach. They are much more passive and just using that shield thrown out, and well, at the moment it's working for them. Final 5 squads, so they're going to get a lot of placement points, but they're not going to get that many elimination points, and well, they've just about managed to avoid those attacks coming on them. But they're right out in the open. Everyone knows exactly where they are, and they are just outside of that zone. LICS are in that zone. 5 squads left, 13 players remaining, and CIMJ is the reason for that one. They're the only team without 3 players left, and they're just rotating into the zone now.
Oh yeah, CIMJ, they just revived their teammates and now they've lost them again. That's going to be a bit of a tough spot. Mackie from Licks is currently the kill leader. And oh no, CIMJ actually getting eliminated by Licks themselves. Grandmaster Gooners, they have a teammate knocked down as well. They should be able to get an easy revive back up. and currently they're sitting at a very high ground, which shouldn't be accessible to most of the people here, given the altitude of where most of these teams are. So they should be fine for at least a little while, but Lex themselves are in a very troublesome place. Ooh, Matty almost getting knocked down, but now the rush is coming in onto them. The Revenant used his ultimate, but almost used his ultimate, but I believe got knocked down beforehand. And like Mackey's the last one alive, they're gonna get eliminated as well. That's gonna leave just only 3 squads behind, with only 9 players alive now, each of them with 3 people online.
Yes, it's well, there are only 3 squads remaining, but it's a 3v3v3 in round 6. So, in fact, there is no zone left, and that's a huge pop shot off from the Ash, breaking that shield of the Newcastle at a crucial time. Ash pushes into the zone, but almost gets taken down, only gets that one knockoff on Shush, and, well, that means that they're going to have no health left. We know that they barely had any shields left. They were completely without shield, and they are almost completely without health, using some of the abilities just to try and gain any sort of semblance they can. But Slash has gone back down, or Shush even has gone back down, and that is DZ Esports eliminated as they tried to counter-attack, but they had no health to do so, and that has seen the end of them. Grandmaster Gooner's on the high ground in a perfect position, and, well, that is a perfect teleport from Ash, which just demonstrates why some of these teams have those abilities that they do, and they've made their way back into playing 3 players in the team. It's 3v3, but that's one gone down. Newcastle, that's the second one gone down. This could be the end of them, and indeed it is. HYK come back. They only played 1 game yesterday, but they have won round 1 here today.
11th possession was what they got yesterday. They had a total of 15 points, I believe, and they somehow made it into the playoffs lobby just to win it out. In the very first game, they were the team that eliminated the leaderboard champions. They were the ones who eliminated Goon Gang with 141 points. And they are the ones who managed to get out with the first victory as well. An absolutely insane play.
What an absolutely unbelievable play, and HYK coming from absolutely nowhere yesterday to end up taking that win. I was speaking to the organizer as we were trying to set up the final lobby. HYK said, we're in the lobby, can we join? And he just said yes, and now look where we are. They've taken round number 1, and they're setting themselves up in the perfect position with 30 of the 50 points required. 18 kills in the team. That is incredible, and that is double. Grandmaster Goon is in that second place, LICS third, and CIMJ fourth. The only 2 teams that are able to even challenge, even be over halfway to the tally of HYK and, well, DZ Esports 5th place. This is all placement points, essentially, as HYK cleaned up almost a third of the entire field. But look at that, 11th place, Goon Gang, the favourites going into today, and they are out early on. They were P11. They've only got 3 points on the board. Times that by 10 and you've got HYK, so this is not an ideal position for them. I've noticed as well they don't have one of the reasons they won round number 1 yesterday, the Mirage of I believe it was Turd Tosser, who was in Goon Gang. He was the reason they won round 1. He was the reason they won round 3. He took 10 and 9 kills respectively in both of those. To see him out of the team is a huge blow, and I think they've just felt it.
Yeah, they certainly did feel the difference in the performance for the first game, but honestly, so did HYK. They did. They did positive. Excuse me, sorry, my mic.
Yeah, it's a very good round that we've had on us with Goon Gang being one of the teams that are just a little bit down on where they were before. We have, though, we've got game 2 ready for us to go, and I believe we've got you back.
Yeah, I'm back. I apologize. My microphone has a tendency to disconnect from time to time again. But as you were saying, I mean, Goon Gang, they had a bad game. HYK on the other end, they were completely different. I mean, they had 18 kills. That alone is enough to give them more points than they had yesterday total. They had only 15, and the kill points today were enough to put them above that alone. So HYK, they're really proving their worth in today's lobby, and I'm excited to see what they do in game number 2 on Storm's Edge.
Yeah, I think there's
on Storm Point. I confused two maps.
Well, I mean, World's Edge, Storm Point. Imagine if we did combine those two. I think that would be I think that'll be a pretty good map. I think a combination of any of the maps, to be fair, would be a pretty good map. As
Yeah.
well, we are, I believe, ready to get to the next game. But yeah, we have. I'm trying to think who would be the first player that was eliminated. I was able to get a look at it yesterday. Pathfinder was the one that I predicted correctly. I believe that was the 4th or the 5th round of the 6. But yeah, we have character select very, very shortly, and you can see those teams. And I was right with my mid-game prediction. Ash was the player banned first, which is going to change some of the rotations on some of these teams. They can't get those teleports off.
Yeah, I mean, Ash in the latest season has felt really powerful. I believe they reduced the dash down from 2 to just 1, so that limits her movement a little bit. But still, given how Ash operates in herself, it's pretty aggressive, and it allows for that aggressive playstyle to work out very well. And having that ultimate online whenever you do have it available, sort of a get out of jail free card. So if you do end up messing up in a fight and you got too aggressive or overstepped perhaps into enemy territory, you can just ult your way out, get back into safety, perhaps closer to your teammates, and they could provide you enough cover for you to recover, or and you could have another shot at a whole new life actually.
Yeah, it's like a cat with 9 lives, but Ash has been eliminated from this one and will not be able to be utilised. And you can see the changes already. I think Ash and Revenant will be the first couple to go, because those matchups in the first couple of rounds were dominated by those two characters. And I'd be interested to see, in fact, how close it was between those two. But you can see the points scrolling at the top there, just to remind you where all of the teams came. And there's a lot of opportunities for some of those that we saw in Lobby 1 yesterday. Kennesaw State, Zesty Besties, and of course Goon Gang, 3 Brazilians as well. And well, Mainframe, they dominated the first 2 rounds of Lobby 2, and well, they ever since then we haven't seen much, and they're going to be wanting to rebuild their momentum. But yeah, lots of opportunities for a lot of very talented players. And well, 20 squads left, 58 left, and I believe Goon Gang have already got 1 knock and 1 actual finish on Sacagawea.
Damn, so they're off to a good start right off the bat, and it seems like they want to get right back on the path that they were on yesterday. But we're going to have to wait and see if they can keep it up or not. They're already hunting down even more people, so the playstyle hasn't exactly changed. They haven't adjusted things out perhaps too much, but it's still early in the game. Everybody's trying to get comfortable in their own zones and then and get the proper loot, so it would be easy for them to catch people off guard right now and hence improve their kill points as much as they can. But they have to be careful to not get thirded like they did last time around.
Yeah, it's all about surviving for some of these teams, and this may well be. Mainframe gone again. Revenant has been dropped down. Newcastle has been dropped, and they have just the 1 player left who's been taking a lot of damage. He's taken a huge snipe there, and this may well be the end of him. He's able to get that shield pass off, and he might be able to get this. He's not going to be able to get that syringe off. Mainframe have been knocked down, and that is going to be huge. And in fact, that's Titans going on the offensive early on, so maybe a difference in approach as they noticed that it didn't quite work in that first round.
Yeah, now it's Grandmaster Gooners, the team that placed second in the last lobby, who are getting aggressive. They've taken down quite a lot of damage already, but they do have to be careful because I believe there was a lot of presence around them, so this would likely turn into a third-party fight eventually. It's only just a matter of time right now as we see that, actually, there's a team right next to them. We now have Goon Gang joining the battle between Grandmaster Gooners and the third team right there as well. And it was Titans getting eliminated immediately after finding their first squad. And now it's going to come down to Grandmaster Gooners versus Goon Gang. So a whole bunch of them, perhaps from alternate universes, going at it right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Advantageous damage.
Yeah, that's a good start from Negative, getting some pop shots off as Goon Gang try to be as aggressive as they were yesterday, and it may well work as they get a little bit of chip damage and actually almost knock out. They do knock out, and they knock out all 3 almost at once, and that is a team down, and that is Goon Gang getting Grandmaster Goon. It's the Battle of the Goons, and it is going to be Goon Gang 11 that come out on top ahead of Grandmaster Gooners.
Yeah, 4 squads have already fallen. A nice headshot there from Ender. That's gonna force the enemy team to slow down a little bit. They're gonna have to take a few seconds to heal up. Meanwhile, there's a flank being set up. As you can see, Hans, he's in the back lines trying to make no sound whatsoever and deal as much damage as he can. Shield knocked down already. He presses his Q, gets out into safety. Gonna try and heal back up. Pulls off a bat, but he can see at least, he knows exactly where two of those players are at the very least, and his teammates have made their way in already. One kill already found, two more yet to be discovered and killed off. That's a lot of damage, and Goon Gang eliminated again.
Goon Gang dropping early on within the first 2 games. And they just, well, you could see that they were trying to use that car for rotation, but as soon as they came under pressure, they accepted their fate and they ran off. They wanted to take out, though, the points for the other team, which I think is a crucial point to make because they wanted to stop anybody getting points. That demonstrates that they feel like they can get back into the battle. LICS right in the midst of a battle. And at the moment, 2 of their players have just been knocked down. They have just the one left who's trying to rotate, I think, and trying to escape this, area. And, well, might just be snooping in the background, but has been spotted and will most likely go down. Does go down. CIMJ gets another elimination.
That's one more to be found. Zapped him now, taking on another fight. Most of these teams, they haven't exactly changed up their playstyles quite a lot, but we are very early on into the lobby, so they are going to try and see if they can make things work, sticking to their comfortable styles perhaps, but Zabdom are going to need to revive a person while the Revenant provides them cover. The circle's closing in, but they do have enough time to walk around comfortably for a bit before they decide to move in, and there is still a team right behind them. So they are going to have to be careful as soon as they head in. They will, of course, be at an advantage. So they might be able to pick off some kills or at least a decent amount of damage if they keep an eye out for that. But Zesty Besties right now, they're on the opposite end of that conversation as currently they're in the circle and there's a team right in front of them who it seems like they're trying to run towards. They want to take this fight, actually. While DZ Esports, they are just healing right back up and they want to continue moving forward and denying that altercation to the team, to Zesty Besties.
The rotation is going to be right in the middle. There's no POI in that finale, and so that could be absolutely crucial. Zesty Besties trying to rotate throughout, past that zone and just going around the rocks. So maybe there's maybe they spotted a few more players down the other side. Either way, they've made their way in, and Zesty Besties, who haven't done much so far in these first couple of rounds, looking to try and attack early on. I am actually focused on the battle between the 2 goons because I think that's going to be a very, very good one. One team in 3rd, one team down in 11th in the stats at the moment. I don't think that 11th place is going to improve. I think that 3rd place is going to decrease, but 2 teams that have demonstrated that they are quite so good. And yeah, they are at the moment not quite showing it, although the Grandmaster Gooners did so in round 1. 3 Brazilians looking in this one to try and pressure. They may well have been caught in an area where they don't really want to, and they are actually caught in the middle of a few different teams as the Mirage ult comes off, and this may well pay off, but not quite, as a lot of ultimates in there. The Bangalore spread was what did it, and well, a little bit of a snipe as well from Stan. That is another one down. Revenant gone. Mirage completely wiped out, and the Pathfinder is the final one to fall for the 3 Brazilians, who dropped down. 13 squads remaining, and the 3 Brazilians, again, another team that haven't done much. A couple of pop shots from the Wraith there of the Zesty Besties as they look to get their 2nd, I believe, team kill of this matchup, and looking just to try and rotate around and surprise them from the back.
Yeah, Zesty Besties, they sort of have been on the hunt ever since they got right back into the circle. Stan needing to heal up before they do go aggressive here. HYK, currently they are the winners of the previous lobby, but right now they're on the edge of the circle, and it seems like they just got done with the fight. That there are some death boxes around them, but they are going to have to make quite a way into the circle, and this zone's just about to close in as well, so it's certainly going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But most of the teams, they've already made their way into the circle, and CIMJ now onto another altercation. I believe they made it into the top 5 or top 7 in the last lobby, but we're going to have to wait and see how this one pans out. A nice chunk of damage there from the Revenant. Cannot confirm the down just yet, but their teammate sure did. And they were able to confirm the frag onto the player as well. That's going to leave only 2 behind for their opposing squad. And the Wraith. They do use their ability to try and get into safety, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do so successfully. They are right next to a teammate, and there's the confirmation. Equals have been eliminated. But Zaptem are now joining the fight as well. There's a third party coming in, but the Pathfinder sustains a lot of damage, so he's gonna back up before they re-engage. But the rest of their teammates are still close up and personal. Ooh, Group D takes a lot of damage. He's gonna use Forged Shadow to heal back up first.
Yeah, he is, and that's going to be a good opportunity for him to heal while his teammates distract. There's no shield, and there is no health at all. He's been knocked down. Has that one player on their team, and Zaptem is down to just the 2 as Group Tie closing in, and so is Borealis. And just to finish getting off, Group Tie dropping down as well, and that is Zaptem eliminated. We're down to just 10 teams. As Axolotls fell just a couple of minutes ago.
Oh.
Just 10 teams left, 30 squads remaining.
Zesty Besties are here as well. The fight just doesn't stop. This is the true nature of Apex. They're in the same area, I believe. So now Zesty Besties are the next team that are gonna face off against. I believe it was Grandmaster Gooners, but we now have to wait and see how that pans out. Zesty Besties immediately just burned down to bare minimum HP, and one player knocked down already. The kill confirmation hasn't come through just yet. That's gonna be 2 players down, and the last one remaining is going to be the Sparrow batting. They're healing back up. They do get a lot of damage down, but it was CIMJ, excuse me, who have killed 3 different teams in this one building alone.
Yeah. 3 different teams going down in that one building alone. That is huge. And there is 2 little groups of teams outside the zone. So I think we could drop down very, very soon from 9 squads to about 5 as we get the zone rotated for round number 3. We've got 59 seconds before it, and Shinobi are on the outskirts of it. There's 4 different teams in this little area, and that's one player going down. That's one of the Shinobi players, in fact, going down. HYK looking to pressure them, and well, they're just on the outside of the zone. So HYK don't want to get too close, and that's a long-range headshot from the alternator that's paid off. 30-30 is the preferred weapon for the HYK team, though, but not able to get any chip damage off. And it looks like they're just going to rotate to the zone and try to get somebody afterwards, just to finish on Voidex for Panic. And that has worked in his favour as he gets a little opportunity to loot before they go to rotate. It's one of the DZ Esports players that's gone down. The other one is on the other side of the team, and one almost into the zone. So the DZ Esports players have split up, which is, well, it's not a great thing to do at any point, but at this point in the game, it's absolutely huge. One of the Kennesaw State players down and out of the battle, just the 2 left, and that is, I don't know if that was an accidental melee there, but that has cost him a decent amount, and that has actually cost him his life. There is just the 2 left. They're going to try and get that revive off with Newcastle. They can't quite do it, and that's another one fallen down. The latest player to try and revive, and it has not worked, but they managed to get the kill. 3R has been knocked out. Kennesaw State with just the 1 player left, and well, the other 2 have now been completely finished by a third party, and there's only 1 player left in the zone. Elixirs, who could only do so much, has been eliminated by CIMJ, who themselves have only 2 players.
Yeah, I believe they might not be able to get the revive down because there is another team nearby, but actually they still hop on it regardless. So they're still keeping themselves alive and well. There is Shinobi that is close by, but they themselves were surviving with just 1 player, although that's going to change now as the respawns come in. But it's only for 1 person, actually. The Pathfinder does not get their way back into the game just yet. So they're going to have to be a little more patient to get their turn at a fight again. But HYK now trying to hunt the 2 teams down that sit in that building. They might not be aware of both of their presence, but Shinobi have been eliminated, and it is HYK that got the final say on that kill. 6 squads remaining as we head towards the final few circles of the game now. And Crash actually is the next team that CIMJ might have an altercation with here.
Yeah, DZ Esports have only 1 player as well, and well, there's a couple of teams with just the 1 player left. 6 was 14 remain, so in fact it is 2. Everybody else has their, well, I believe they have their 3 players as by fire. dropped down. We're down to 5 and we're down to 13. And that was a huge pressure. That didn't quite work out. HYK, our victors from Lobby 1, are not going to be taking the victory in Lobby 2, but they get a decent haul of points. 5 squads remain. They finished P5, and now we're actually down to those 4 squads remaining. Benelux Goats being one of them. And, well, that's a team that I wasn't quite expecting to be at this level at this point in the game. DZ Esports as well doing very well to avoid Kaomi. It's a very tense moment. You can see the third-person FPS that we're taking to have a look there at how close it got there. And with the zones coming in, they're going to do very well if they get any more placement points here, because they're essentially hiding out in the open. This is one of those FPS games where it's very hard to hide. And yeah, they are doing a decent job of it at the moment, but they're going to have to rotate within the next 6 seconds.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be interesting to see all 4 of these teams now getting inside the final circle. So this could be a very quick end game here that goes down. CIMJ already confirming a kill. They were barely surviving earlier, actually, but now they seem very flawless so far in terms of the engagements that they've taken. They have a lot of kills, more than 15, I'm pretty sure, already secured, and there's potential for them to secure 7 more. So they're going to be walking away with a lot of points here, especially if they end up winning out the lobby. But their kill points alone are going to be absolutely humongous.
They really are, and well, it's a combination of the kill points and the victory points that are going to take you to the end. HYK already almost there, simply because of that game 1 as CIMJ taking a lot of damage as they try to zipline across, but they are ziplining across to try and pressure another team, and that team is trash. That team has gone down, and that's a huge time in the match for that to have happened, because they just applied that pressure and it's paid off. So now it's essentially a 3v3, and then DZ Esports are in the game as well, and well, they're doing incredibly well to still hide by the zone. Shush, with no health on him, he's not taking the gamble to syringe and be able to be heard, but he's doing incredibly well still to remain in this one. He's got a full shield, which is well, useful as he continues with that Asher, and well, he's got 44 seconds to make it to zone. He's going to hope that these 2 teams that wipe each other out, CIMJ, have been, well, one of them has been knocked down. It's the Pathfinder that has dropped at the hands of one of the other players, but the CIMJ team snap back. So there is the 2 left in the 2 teams. One of the CIMJ players is being revived, though we cannot see who's being revived from the other team. And DZ Esports has been knocked down. They got spotted and they got eliminated, but that's a P3 for DZ Esports. A huge points tally, and now CIMJ look to pressure for the championship point.
Yeah, and honestly, they're primed for it. They have the positional advantage. They have the circle right on them. Eventually, the other team is going to have to move out and fight them. So they are going to have to take this fight head on. Good amount of damage dealt onto the Pathfinder, but is that going to be able to grant them enough space to make their way closer and closer to the circle? It's starting to close in now. One shield already broken, and it's down to the Revenant to try and hold them back, while the other Revenant has pushed in already. One player knocked down, and CIMJ looking like at a disadvantage here somehow. The Pathfinder ends up getting a knock, so now it's come down to a 2 versus 2, I believe. And realistically, it could end up going either way, because no way anybody gets out and pulls off a revive in such a situation. CIMJ down to just the Pathfinder now, who should have honestly gone down quite a while ago, but somehow they're still surviving just with 1 shot left onto them. They're trying to pull off a bat here. 1 player already confirmed dead, 1 player knocked down, and this would be an absolutely humongous clutch moment. Oh, the revive. It's getting popped in.
Got it off. What a time for them to get that revive off, and well, that means that they have 2 players left. Who cares if they got the revive off as well, because they have those 2 players left. Yes, they don't have much health. Yes, the Pathfinder will have the opportunity to heal, but he's choosing not to. He's choosing instead to try to pressure, because they know that that revive is going off, and they're doing as much as they can to disrupt it at this crucial point in the battle. The Revenants drop down. That's a huge moment in this battle, and they're going to try and get the final one of the grenade pops off, and that is not going to be the end of that.
No way!
CIMJ are the champions of round number 2 in sensational style once again.
How even does that happen? They got knocked down. They somehow managed to pull the revive off, heal themselves back up. They keep the pressure on the enemy team to ensure that they do not revive the one player that was knocked down. And both of them heal back up while keeping the pressure because they were constantly peeking through those windows. The game awareness, the timing, and everything that got pulled off by the Pathfinder there was absolutely ridiculously flawless, actually. And CIMJ, honestly, they were playing absolutely flawlessly in that game, given how many times they got thirded and so on and so forth. In that particularly one building in the middle of the game, they got rushed by 3 different teams, and they ended up cleaning out all of them. So they had one heck of a showing this time around.
What a performance from CIMJ, showing why they were the champions of lobby number 2. Of course, we didn't get to see any of the lobby number 2 last time out, but they demonstrated exactly why they ended up right on the very top of it. That was absolutely sensational, just to pull that clutch moment off. And this is something that I noticed a lot with Goon Gang, particularly in lobby 1 yesterday, where they are able to pull it off in clutch moments where they looked like they were on the back foot and the other teams just got complacent. They were able to ward off the complacency, CIMJ, and that is exactly why they were able to win that one, because they warded off the complacency from themselves. They managed to see the other team making or being complacent and dropping them down. CIMJ now have the opportunity to take victory in this one, as they now go over 50 points. They are on 51 points, and if they take their next victory, then we could be seeing them becoming champions. HYK with that matchup, which wasn't quite as strong as they wanted last time. 43 points, 27 kills still, but they will be the next team, I'd imagine, to secure that qualification. LICS up there as well. Grandmaster Gooners, DZ Esports, Benelux Goat, Zaptum, Trash, Goon Gang, and 3R3R rounding out the top 10. Goon Gang getting a little bit more up there, but not quite up there at the very top, as it's looking like CIMJ and HYK are going to be the favourites. And of course, CIMJ may well be able to get that victory in the next matchup. That would be sensational.
Yeah, it certainly would be. CIMJ only 2 games in and they already have more than 50 points. That is absolutely insanity. But unfortunately for them, no winners can be decided before game number 4. So the match point is going to get put into effect after game number 4. So if they win a game before that, unfortunately, it's only going to be more points for them. But they cannot be deduced the winner of the lobby up until we're done with game number 4 at the very least. After that, if they win a game, or whoever above 50 points wins a game, will actually be the winner of the playoff bracket as well. So it certainly is going to be excited, but I believe yeah, they could win the next game, but they will get the points for it. But the playoff winner would be decided afterwards, and will play one more. If they end up winning another game, they'll have to sit a game out, and then we'll go in. But I believe we do have the next game coming up. Actually, excuse me, I may have made an error, so I'm not entirely. All right.
So
Well,
they
actually,
can play. They can play. They were going to play 4 games regardless, at least. If CIMJ
Yeah.
win this one, then they take it, and then we go to we play another one just for bragging rights.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So CIMJ, I mean, 3 games. That might be one of the fastest Apex performances that I have ever witnessed, actually. So it certainly is going to be interesting if they can pull it off on E District. But we're gonna have to wait and find out. Currently, we do have HYK sitting on 43 points themselves, who have 27 kills. They had 18 kills before. This time around, they walked away with 9, which honestly, sure, given how many kills CIMJ had, it may not look as impressive, but 9 kills is still 3 whole squads that they got to wipe out. So HYK, I'd say they're still doing pretty consistently good so far.
Yeah, they are, and well, they've had 2 games to do so, and that first game was
Yeah.
sensational. The second game, not quite up to par, but still an incredibly high level to try to match. And yeah, the first 2 teams just setting their expectations as high as they possibly can.
Yeah. One thing that I just noticed on the drop zones that we can see on our screens is actually that Goon Gang CIMJ and HYK are landing right next to each other. Goon Gang's Riverside, CIMJ is Galleria, and E-Bank is HYK. So that is going to be so interesting to see how that goes down, because we could see a three-team fight right between themselves, because those areas are pretty close to each other as well. So it's certainly going to be interesting how that pans out. The character select is on already, and I believe it's actually the Sparrow that got banned. So not as much information that's going to be granted over to teams before they head into fight this time around. So they're going to have to gather information by themselves or use alternate methods and characters to do so.
Yes, alternate characters to do so as well. These, I mean, if they're able to get those victories off, and if they can just get themselves to the point where they can skip the final round, then they don't even need to worry about anything of the sort. As well, they're just, we are landing, but we're going to get a little bit of a restart in a minute or two, and then we'll be getting going. And well, it's going to be a very, very good matchup. We're being made to
Oh
wait
yeah.
a little bit longer for those three teams to scrap it out to the victory. And I'm expecting Goon Gang to go around with a vehicle to try and run people over to get some eliminations on the run.
Yeah, and I another thing that I just noticed is that Grandmaster Gooners, sure, they haven't been too impressive, but they did have some really great fights that we got to witness early on. They're also not landing too far away. They're landing at Dam, so that's a little far above CIMJ and Goon Gang, who are practically right next to each other, and HYK is right below them. So those four teams, all of them have really great fighting potential. It's just going to be a matter of who comes out on top and who raids who first. I think so. It certainly is interesting. Goon Gang, they have knocked out the first teams that they have engaged with in both of the lob matches that have happened so far. This time around, if they decide to rush somebody, it likely will be either CIMJ or HYK. So it certainly is going to be interesting if they're going to be able to repeat that or not.
Yeah, they haven't quite woken themselves up yet in this battle, because what they did so incredibly well yesterday is they flew into battles, yes, but then once they got in those battles, they were able to get themselves into positions which allowed them to win the battle, even if they were right on the back foot. They were able to leap once again back onto the front foot and get themselves prepared for the battle up ahead, get themselves to take the victory regardless of what situation they were in. And they had a very similar win yesterday where they were able to pop off a revive at an incredible moment when they really needed it, and that's exactly how they ended up winning one of the games. And at least it happened a couple of times at least, but I certainly remember one sticks in the memory. I believe it was game number 3 that they ended up winning. It was the third of 4 that they won, because they won game 1, 2, 3, and 5, if my memory serves me correctly. And well, they were very, very impressive regardless of everything. Even if you look at the stats, they were just very, very impressive. And if you look against it, then they still look impressive. We have our character select. We're back in the lobby, and we're back in the lobby for potentially the final competitive time in this evening's action, which would be absolutely incredible stuff.
It certainly would be, and honestly, given how CIMJ have been playing, I would not count them out. They were the victors of lobby number 2 yesterday, and they might be of the playoff lobby as well. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Ballistic got picked quite a bit more this time around from the looks of it, and Mirage perhaps to substitute the Sparrow out. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see how that pans out. The Revenant still sticks around, so the teams could likely be pretty aggressive alongside the Pathfinder. But we are gonna have to wait and see how exactly they decide to execute this. HYK still looting about, and I believe there was a team actually that landed close by to them. So we're gonna have to wait and find out how this turns out. They are pretty spread apart actually, so they're really clearing out the area with loot and preparing themselves to take on any fight whatsoever as early as they can. Perhaps, while on the other hand, Goon Gang, they are not running on towards the team so far, which is a unique sighting. You don't get to see that with Goon Gang as often, but Right now, they're taking their time. They might decide to be a tad bit more passive, considering how their last 2 games have went so far. But we're gonna have to wait and see how fruitful this one is.
Yes, it's well, it's going to be a game that certainly we're going to see a couple of huge hitters out early on with Goongang landing so close to the other two and already
Yeah.
looking to pressure the G7 and the R99 already
Oh no,
pulled out.
they're running
What a
towards
load
CIMJ.
they are. Oh dear, this could be the battle that could decide the championship. Of course, Goongang have not been on top form tonight, but they were so incredible yesterday that you'd think they'd be able to have a comeback. But they've now, I believe, spotted the enemy. CIMJ and Goongang may well be about to tussle it out in here in this little POI that we have, and that's a huge push that we could be seeing from the Revenant, just trying to jump his way in there. And well, they've got the high ground, have Goongang, but they've jumped down to the low ground just as the Mirage pops off the ultimate, but that does not phase them. And well, Future Stream's trying to attack the a lot of chip damage done to one of the players, and he's able to get a couple of shield cells off, but not crucially a full regen of health. And well, they've got, I think they may well have broken the shield of one of the players. Indeed, they have, and it's almost a kill. The grenade's thrown in now from one of the teams. Not even sure where those grenades are coming from, but they're coming from one of the teams, certainly, and that's having a huge effect. Revenant down to no shields and almost without no health. That shield cell popped off at a crucial time, which allowed him to just soak up that pressure and, well, get a little bit more health. And, well, it's fair to say in these early stages of this battle between Goongang and CIMJ that could decide this game, it's Goongang that have lost out to it. Equals relatively near and trying to get the knocks down. And in fact, they have been able to get one knockdown. And HYK getting knocked down. So this could become a 14 battle very easily if HYK and the other team in this battle come together, as that's a knockdown, and that's a very impressive knockdown from the Revenant that just gets the snipe off. This is a knockdown from Goongang onto CIMJ, and well, this battle is hanging in the balance at the moment, but one elimination on equals, in fact, is what they've done. So that's... Yeah. They are combining the two battles. We are going to have a 14 battle. It's just about sizing up where everybody else is.
Ooh, another knockdown coming in, and that's on that's on to HYK. So Goongang, they're now fighting HYK. It has literally turned into a 14 battle already. Goongang ended up losing a player in the meanwhile as well. The kill confirm should be there anytime soon, and there it is. But now they're gonna try and look for revenge here. They did get the beacon down, and the equals have been eliminated as well. So equals, they walk away with only 1 kill point out of this lobby, and I believe we're the second team to go down. HYK still present close by. The Wraith has been knocked down, and CIMJ still without any casualty whatsoever, but I believe they deemed it better to just run away for the time being and play this rather safely. So a wise decision, honestly. This is something that you absolutely love to see, a team that is very aggressive and can take fights in a very, very methodical manner, but they also realize when they need to walk out that they should, and that's exactly what they did. They realized that they were at a disadvantage and getting rushed from different teams, so they walk away, they regather, and now they're gonna walk straight back into the fight from the looks of it. HYK still with a player knocked down quite far away, but they're gonna walk all the way around the distance while they are being hunted by Goongang to try and revive the player.
Yeah, it's a change in strategy for CIMJ. They know they don't need to get those ranking points anymore. All they need to get off is they need to get that victory. So they're going a lot more passive. I don't think that's the right decision. I think they just needed to go with the strategy that's worked for them before and taken that victory. But they've certainly deemed it differently, and they're trying to rotate without any similar problems as the Titans are now in a little tussle. And that's one of their players down, the Revenant knockdown. This could be the Pathfinder 2 through the window, but no, he's able to get away. Psycho is just hidden in the background and just getting a little bit of heals off. And they're not going to revive the Revenant. Instead, they're going to attack the team that are trying to push them. Not sure quite who that is yet, but they're trying to get those grenades off just to try and ward them off. And yeah, they're going on the very defensive, which is what we saw from the Titans yesterday, where they tried to avoid everything pretty much. KDG goes down with 16 squads remaining. This is a tense one where there are half battles, but nobody's really engaging that deeply. Everyone's just sort of having a little half pop shot, like a ward off, go away, and then run around, rotate to the zone. And, well, round one's closing. Round two's about to begin. We have 16 of our 20 squads left, so this one could get good. Kennesaw State trying to pressure. They have just got the enemy shield of a Wraith eliminated, and they're trying to push to try and find that Wraith. They found the teleportation, but they don't want to fall into that bait, and they're just going to scout out both ends of it so they can see whether it's actually a bait or whether it could be used as a rotation material. Round 1 has just the 20 seconds left, and we're down to 15. By Fire has dropped down, and this could be another kill here. That's a bit of damage. Down as in the kill feed, you can see Goon Gang have dropped. They are out of this one, and that is an absolutely huge elimination. It was the Zesty Besties that were able to get them off. So payback for yesterday, and Goon Gang 11 continues to struggle here in the finals.
Yeah, this is just losing that one teammate perhaps has changed their dynamic enough for their aggression to not work out, because if you are being aggressive, you have to make sure that your fights are well coordinated and well timed, and having that one teammate difference could force it to be a little bit more awkward, and hence why we see such a drastic change in their performance today, which is sort of unfortunate. But we're gonna have to wait and see if they even get a shot at making a comeback anymore, because CIMJ, they still could win this whole thing out. Currently, all three of them are towards the edge of the circle with no player trying to disturb them, while on the other end, 3 Bazillions, they are gonna make their way into the circle, although it's still pretty big and a minute left on the clock. They would like to, I believe they spotted somebody, so they're trying to rush towards them and possibly find a few kill points to their name. They already have at least 4 secured, and the team has been spotted out, but it's actually 3, so this is very likely to turn into a 3-man battle here.
Yeah, 3-man battle could be very on the verge of happening. LICS getting a little bit of damage off and allowing themselves the time to recover, as this is another one of those half-hearted battles. But one of their players has gone down, the Ozone Boy getting the kill off, and Mac1 going down. Now the pressure on from the Revenant to try and counter-attack. It's not quite worked. That grenade that he's thrown in has actually blown up in his face, and LICS have been eliminated. They are the 14th team in this matchup. They were the 6th team to be eliminated, and well, it's fair to say that they drew their own Revenant trying to push, and getting that little bit of friendly fire off is now the Newcastle of the Trash team has that high ground and is getting a lot of pop shots off. This is a good chance for them, and they don't want to sacrifice that fight to push, as CIMJ loses one of their players. That is the Mirage gone down, and well, they need to get this revive off now. The Mirage ultimate from the other team, though, is going to cost them just that little bit, and the real Mirage is in that corner. The Forged Shadows ultimate coming out, but it's not enough for CIMJ, who are out of this matchup. They will not be taking a record-breaking victory in this 3rd matchup, and we will get a chance for all these teams to try and pick up as many qualification points as they can. Of course, HYK were only 4 away, and all the other teams needed quite a few in order to get in there. Zesty Bessie's taking a lot of damage. They knocked down one of the key teams in this one, Goon Gang, but they may well come under pressure, and they've got the elimination off on the Shinobi team. And yeah, this is a very, very wide open battle now, as the favourites that we had going in are certainly not in this one. So we have new favourites, new competitors rising to the fore.
Yeah, and honestly, HYK likely to end up with more than 50 points as well. So in the next lobby, we're gonna have 2 teams trying, at the very least, 2 teams trying to get that tournament victory as well, and they would end it out all the way there if they are able to achieve it, of course. But Zesty Besties, they've had a very impactful game so far. They were the team that eliminated CIMJ, they were the team that eliminated Goon Gang as well, and now they're looking for even more. 3R trying to engage onto a team as well. Nice bit of damage onto the Bangalore. Eventually the knockdown does come in, and it actually is on Zesty Besties as well, as Benjamin Franklin ends up falling. They do retaliate by knocking another player down on the side of 3R. The Revenant trying to get back to safety, while the Alter just barely getting out of that one alive.
Yeah, barely getting out alive. That was very, very close for him. But 3R still in this one, but they only have 1 player left, and he only has 1 shot left in him. And Zesty Bessie's similar situation for the Mirage, but he has a huge lump of that health going on for him, as well, that shield even going on for him, as they continue to be locked in battle. This is what happens when you have 12 squads left in this close rotation, and most of them, barring 2, are out of the zone, and those 2 in the zone are fighting, and so that could change things up significantly. The Grandmaster Gooners have taken a step back. They're not going as aggressive as they did in the first matchup, and they are right outside of the circle. 3R3R have been eliminated. We're down to 11 squads, and we could be down to 10 very, very soon, as there's a lot of knocks coming off from the Zappers, from Borealis specifically, as he's managed to get a headshot kill and another kill as well, and just trying to get those pop shots off. Does a few, but then gets hit with a few himself. Kraber is on Panic for HYK, and so they're going to be trying to snipe, I think, trying to take a step back and trust the sniping abilities of the Pathfinder, but he's been spotted, which is not an ideal scenario for him. And yeah, they try and get the hell out of there, I think, as HYK now see this as crucial. They will get those points to qualify. I believe they've already done so, and it's now fighting for the glory in order to make their way through. I think that this is the way that HYK have attacked any game, and I like it, which is where they remain consistent with their strategy, and their strategy is just fighting and fighting and fighting, and maybe it'll pay off.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, right now, they're just looking to get above 50 points, which I'm pretty sure they already have. So they are set, and they're possibly thinking about the next game already, because it only matters if you get above more than 50 points. And oh my god, what are those shots by Ben? 2 headshots and a kill and a knockdown confirmed onto Grandma's aimbot. But those were some of the most insane 7-7 shots, 30-30 shots, excuse me, that I've ever seen. But as I was saying, HYK, they only care about getting above 50 points and then trying to head for the victory in the next game to try and win out the tournament right there. Grandmaster Gooners now in a bit of a pickle here, as they're getting shot from behind, but the teams behind them have enough trouble close by that they should not be emphasizing Grandmaster Gooners, so they should get to safety pretty easily.
Yeah, it's a low-pressure environment for them right now, as everybody on the defensive, and that frag grenade could do some damage, but Borealis able to avoid it. As Trash has gone down, and that's another huge team knocked out of this battle, and Group Tide trying to get the damage, but there's one knocked down for Zaptum, and this could be another one very soon. Group Tide he's without health, but now they've had the finish popped up on their race, so they are left with just the 2 players. They're not the only team in that situation as the Titans go down. Their passive strategy has not quite worked today, as everybody else has gone for it, and they've sort of actually gone more attacking than they did yesterday, which is a strategy that generally works, but today for some reason for them it hasn't. Maybe they did practice with the passive, not expecting to get to this point, and they managed to make it here, as the Eber 8 is attacking, and Elixir's MP4 gone down. Elixir's MP4 has been finished, and the Grandmaster Goon is getting that kill off as the zone gets even smaller. We're almost at the end of round number 4. We're going to get to round number 5, and the zone is going to get even smaller. We may well be able to get Elixir's MP4 instantly revived, though, as Kennesaw State look for something, but that's a snipe from the top, and that could be absolutely huge, as they've now been spotted. They've been stuck with the frag, and that is them down. So they've got 1 player down, 1 player out, and 1 player remaining, as Mainframe dropped down as well. 7 teams left, and this is a crucial time for Kennesaw State, whether they can get that revive off.
All of these teams are quite literally just next to each other, except I believe Zapdem, who are sort of in an isolated area, but the rest of them are just meters away, and Zapdem are going to join the fight as well. So this could end really quickly if these teams decide to take these altercations. Some fights are already, of course, going down, but 2 teams already getting eliminated. Exelotus and Kennesaw State, both of them out of the conversation within mere seconds of each other, and Zapdem looking to take another one out. 1 kill confirmed, or should be momentarily at the very least, but now they're gonna try and hunt for the teammates of Panic, who they just took down. It's gonna be HYK, of course. They are the ones who ended up losing one of their teammates to Zapdem, but they're gonna try and look for revenge here, as they're getting rushed in, and possibly a pinch onto them as well from Grandmaster Gooners, I believe. But we're gonna have to wait and see how this pans out. They are all out of the circle for the time being, but the area within the circle doesn't seem like it will have a lot of cover, so the fights are gonna have to go down right now, because after the circle starts to close, it will be a Hail Mary for all of them.
Yes, it's going to be a high-pressure environment for them now, with 5 squads left, and into round 5, where the zone is going to get absolutely tiny. And just a good rotation there from one of the teams, just getting to the east side of the map. just at the perfect time. Zaptum sitting underneath the bridge. A couple of frag grenades coming into play, but it's not quite aggressive enough for them to feel under any pressure yet. Zaptum trying to rotate right into the zone. There's a couple of tunnels here which could play crucially into this one, and yeah, they are absolutely vital at this point in time. Where they sit in those tunnels, they can be attacked from behind, but it allows that for nobody to breach them from on top. There's 5 squads remaining, 5 teams of 3 and 1 team of 2 left, and that's a huge shot from Pin, the 3 Brazilians team, and he's managed to knock down Borealis.
Zip has been, Ben has been absolutely insane with those sniper shots. Honestly, he was the one who delivered that 2-shot 30-30 frag, and Zaptum have been eliminated as well. Grandmaster Gooners, they knock a person down with a grenade there. Mitchie actually now doing some impressive 30-30 shots. That's a headshot onto, I'm not entirely sure who it is, but 104 damage to kick things off here over to that engagement. They have the height advantage and they're in the circle, so Grandmaster Gooners in a great state to win this one out. Choco gets tagged down quite a lot, gonna have to back off, heal up, but they do have some dead bodies lying around, so that's some free loot that they don't have to carry in their own inventory, but they have quick access to actually as well.
Yes, this is going to be a good one as well. We're nearing the end of round 5. Round number 6 is about to begin, and we only have now 3 squads remaining. HYK have been eliminated, and that is absolutely huge for this one, which means that we do have teams in here that we have not seen in this scenario before. Zesty Bessie's trying to pressure the 3 Brazilians, and well, they've got a little bit of a pop shot off Grandmaster Goon as the other team, so this could be a brand new victory for one of these teams. 3 Brazilians have been absolutely nowhere, especially in these first few rounds, and they could find themselves at the very peak, but we have Grandmaster Gooners with that height, and that could be oh so crucial because you can't snipe from below, but you can certainly snipe from above, and getting a little bit of chip damage while they're trying to trade some heals is Mad Maggie, our Grandmaster Gooners, and well, they've traded some shields, which is going to help them. Going to get that med kit off just to get that little bit of health up. At this point of the game, it's going to be the last opportunity to get that med kit off. The Revenant is going to pop that shield bat as well as the stone rotates in, and round 6 is almost about to begin. The enemy shield has been broken on the Revenant, and Zesty Besties are pressuring on this late stage of the game. Zesty Besties, Revenant could be down Stan, trying to pop this med kit off. Is he going to be able to? Or they know that he's going to be on low health, and are they going to push? No, as that's just a little bit of chip now. They know that they are under pressure from Grandmaster Gooners, who are in the great position, and they've knocked one of them down. That could be a vital kill in this one, because I don't think they're going to get the opportunity to get the revive off. Grandmaster Gooners are taking advantage of this massive height advantage at the moment, and it's playing so into their favor, but they're going to drop down a level still with that height advantage, and that everybody on the map still knows that they are at that height advantage, and they are going to be the focal point of the 2 teams attacking as Zesty Bessies get a knockdown. Benjamin Franklin are getting that knockdown specifically as they all close in. The final round is closing in. We have a minute left, and this will decide the game. The 3 Brazilians have gone down, and one of the Grandmaster Gooners players has gone down as well, as we are onto our final 2 squads. A lot of pressure coming through on the Newcastle, but Grandmaster Gooners have nothing left. It's now just the 1 player versus the 3 from the other team, and he holds that high grab, but he's been spotted trying to pop that shield bat off, but the pressure is massively on from them. And he's going to drop down, try and do anything in this battle, but he can't. Zesty Besties take round 3.
The amount of kills and the amount of early aggression that Zesty Besties showed this time around, it worked out so well for them, and that sort of become the theme of this tournament, of this playoff bracket itself. HYK, they were extremely aggressive, taking fights left and right early on, and they were the ones who ended up winning game 1. On the second one, it was CIMJ who got rushed all the time. Sometimes, for the most part, they didn't even have to take the fights. The fights were just coming to CIMJ, and they were the ones that ended up winning out the lobby number 2. And this time around, it was Zesty Besties who took out Goon Gang, who took out CIMJ, and now ended up as winners as well. So we're gonna have to wait and see where exactly they place on the bracket. It certainly should be interesting, and I believe HYK should be on the number 2 spot, or at least the second team with 50 points.
Yeah, they are actually in there, and HYK become the top team with that performance in that round. They now have 53 points over 52, and they are the two teams on match point. Zesty Besties just 14 off now after a very, very strong performance. Grandmaster Goon is just the 17 off, and 3 Brazilians and Zaptum have now reached the halfway, or just over the halfway mark there. We have, all these teams will be scrapping it out. CIMJ will be hoping for a more lucky drop, as they just felt like they didn't get the rub of the green in that one. And HYK just pressuring and pressuring and pressuring, playing exactly like we saw. Well, we saw Goongang play exactly like that yesterday, and that is exactly why they made it through to the finals. No, they didn't qualify. They ended up in 11th, but their place was sacrificed, and they were able to jump right in there. And now they find themselves in contention after playing this is just their 4th game in this round. They could, or in any round, just in this whole tournament, as a whole, the CCA Trios Finals. This was only their 4th game, and they performed pretty well. But we are going to take a little break right now. We'll be right back with you for round 4. Don't go away.
Welcome to Karina's Custom Arena. Welcome to Karina's Custom Arena.
where the competition is fierce
And the
community unstoppable.
From Apex Legends gunfights
So far, gonna push through. Can he get it? That's the
Bamboozlers, drop
bamboozle.
to epic Tekken 8 clashes.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
and wild team brawls in Marvel Rivals.
and a triple for the side of Psylocke. Possibly a
CCA brings you tournaments across today's most exciting games.
With cash prizes, brackets, and spotlight moments all wrapped into one. And don't forget about Karina's Custom Arcade.
Earn Karina coins just by playing, watching, or helping during events.
Then cash them in for consoles, controllers, gift cards, and more. So what are you waiting for?
Join the community, enter a bracket, and start your journey
At Karina's Custom Arena.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, because we have just had 3 rounds of scintillating Apex Legends action, and we are ready for yet another one. We don't know, in fact, how long we are going to go on for this evening, and we thought we were going to have the record shortest round. We thought we were going to have 3 rounds, and that is it for CIMJ in terms of taking the victory. That was not possible, and they were eliminated after a very hectic round number 3. We have, though, 2 teams still able to take match points and still able to get that point off and able to get onto match point. If they take that victory, then they will be ending our evening right here. HYK and CIMJ sitting up there on 53 and 52 points. And I think it's fair to say that it's those kills that has been the deciding factor for them. 32 and 35. The second highest is, or the third highest even, is 21, which is 11 behind what HYK has. My name is Joseph Black, aka Cockcast, and beside me once again and throughout the rest of this evening, I will have Inflict.
Yeah, it certainly has been an interesting day so far. HYK and CIMJ, sure, both of them do have most of their points coming from the kill counts, but of course, both of them do have a victory under their belt. HYK ended up winning the game number 1 on Wall's Edge, while CIMJ were able to get the victory on game number 2, which was on Storm Point, but E District ended up going to Zesty Besties, who had been nowhere close to victory. They've had knowing performances so far, but it certainly is going to be interesting to see how the match moving forwards will go. Oops, I believe my cam just disconnected there, but hopefully that gets sorted out in a bit. That came forward with quite significantly better performances this on E District specifically, which is also going to be the map that we're going to see in the next game.
Yeah, we've got the next map coming up very, very soon. Just trying to get the lobby sorted, and then we're going to get into, it's essentially elimination rounds now. It's essentially like a penalty shootout, and those of you in the chat who are English know all about penalty shootout this evening and over the last month in particular. But we'll keep it on the virtual side, and we'll keep it on Apex Legends for now, as we have round 4 coming right up very, very soon. We have no problems with having to play any games for dummies or just having to play any fun games to end us off. We'll be straight into it. We may well have a victor straight after this match, and that will be that. They have the opportunity to end our evening here, and it's a bit like golf. The better you play, in the end of it, the quicker you're done with it, which feels like anti what they want to play. But yeah, it's a great opportunity for them to really try and attack, really try and play their way. And I think we have one specific team that are going to play their way. And if they play their way, they have a great chance of getting to that match point.
It certainly is going to be interesting. We have the Revenant band, by the way, heading into the game number 4. So that aggression that we were seeing initially from the Ashe and then from the Revenant as a substitute, that's going to get taken away. So I'm guessing that we might see Wraith picked up quite a lot, or do you think still some other legend will take their place in this one?
I think we'll see some more Octane coming out. That's what we saw yesterday when Revenant was eliminated. They like that fast rotation, especially in a more passive final than the semis, which were a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, it's a very, very good battle at the very top of the standings, and it's going to be one that we're going to see the end of. But yeah, I think it's going to be Octane is going to get selected a lot more. I think we saw a lot of Bangalore in Lobby 1. Haven't seen, or Lobby 1 Round 1, but we haven't really seen anything in terms of anything in a similar vein this evening. I don't think, in fact, I've seen any Octane, so it'll be interesting to see whether I'm right and whether they brought that one out. But the Ashe Revenant combination has been eliminated, and I believe we've had another. We've had 3 games, so we've had another knocked out as well. Sparrow's gone, and well, speaking of Bangalore, there is one, and that is a combination we've seen quite a bit tonight. We've seen Pathfinder and Mirage, but Bangalore thrown into the mix.
Yeah, honestly, I was expecting either the Altar to get picked more, or as you said, the Octane was a good substitute for the faster rotations and the aggressive plays here. But Bangalore, I'm actually quite glad to see, as an Ashe and Bangalore main myself, that Bang's getting some love, because the latest seasons haven't exactly been very nice to Bangalore. But the Bang is actually quite prominent. It's practically on every team that we've seen so far, and a nice headshot from the longbow to kick things off onto a Mad Maggie here from the side of CIMJ. But he's only taking out fight all by himself, trying to deal damage, perhaps get his Evo shield up, and which he was successfully able to do so. But one team has already actually been eliminated from the mix here. While it seems like HYK, they continue to be aggressive. They spot a team on the minimap right behind them. So it would be interesting to see how exactly they decide to pan this one out, because they're actually walking towards CIMJ, who themselves are running towards 2 different teams.
Yeah, they are. The CIMJ just find themselves in spots continuously where they really don't want to be, and this is another situation where they've done exactly the same thing. They're in a spot that could be very tight, and they're just going to try and find their way out of it now, or they're just going to try and play their way out of it as well. And it's a little bit of a fight there, starting to pop off, and Axolotl's getting in on the action. That's not something we've seen so far. Equals the other team in this battle, and well, they're looking to not be equal, but be above the Axolotls, and they're trying to. They're actually trying to run away from this one between CIMJ and Axolotls, and they've done so successfully. CIMJ getting that knockdown, getting that finish with the G7 scout, and that's worked in their favor, trying to get the Nemesis on the long range, but without any scope, it's not going to be particularly easy. And we're going to take a switch over to HYK, who are pressuring as well.
Yeah, and this could turn into a 5-team battle, as well as there are so many different cards that are showing up on the map there. This could go very wrong very, very quickly here. CIMJ currently a bit farther away from the trouble, but they're getting shot in the back right now. The Bangalore gonna try and keep themselves safe. They smoke the opponents out so they cannot be targeted from long range.
Yeah, they can't be targeted from long range, and it's just about trying to protect yourself as much as possible. We saw that in the last lobby, where there was a little bit of sniping going on, even when we got down to those final couple of circles, and they found themselves in the tunnels, which they thought was a good idea, but in fact it just made them more of a target than anything else. Goongang able to get that shield off nice and early, and this is the character actually that was banned first yesterday. So it's interesting to see that they haven't been as mainframe get eliminated. They've done nigh on nothing today, which is a surprise, because after the first 2 rounds yesterday, we saw Goongang right at the top of Lobby 1. We saw Mainframe at the right at the top of Lobby 2. So it really looked like they were going to do something.
The push is coming in by Fire. They have been pretty absent so far in this lobby, but right now they're doing some aggressive plays, and unfortunately it's not working out. The Mirage has already fallen, the Altar in Bangalore gonna try and get that player back up, but they themselves need to heal. The Mirage drops down. And it seems like there's some silence, at least for the time being. But the circle's starting to close in, so they are gonna have to move. They do have enough. They do have a minute and 40 seconds to do so. But the Alter pushing in now as well to provide some backup for their own teammate, who was the player that took down the Mirage. They themselves have a little bit of healing to do, but now the Pathfinder gonna take the battle up top. No help whatsoever for him so far, but he's not getting rushed for the time being. So Shinobi, they're keeping the players backed up, but the Alter is actually end up gonna get knocked down.
Yeah,
There's the kill
it's, well,
confirmation.
there's the kill confirmation indeed, and that is Shinobi, another player lost, and by fire, another team that hasn't had much action in the first 2 matches. And yeah, this is going to be a very, very well, it's going to be a very interesting matchup, all things considered, because of the fact that we've had a couple more teams rise to the last match. Think of the likes of the 3 Brazilians who made it into the top 3, and they hadn't really done anything so far which allowed them to zip their way up the standings. But of course, they are nowhere near match point just yet, because they played passively. It looks as though today, because of the way the point system is, that playing aggressively is really, really the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it has worked out for all 3 of the winners so far. They were playing very aggressively. They took every fight that they got the opportunity to have. And by coming out on top, it's also a very significant confidence booster. The more fights you win, the more sure you are about your own ability to win out that game. So CIMJ, HYK, I understand that there might be an attitude adjustment in them after getting the match points, because they want to secure out the map victory rather than getting as many kills as they did before. But they need to stay true to how their playstyle generally is and how it was working out beneficially for them. But you see a lot of people on the south side of the map, but all of them are going to have to rotate all the way up. And although there is a lot of time, but they're also in a lot of different engagements, so they are going to have to time their rotations perfectly while trying to win out of these fights and get out of them.
Yeah, it's all what it comes down to now, where they're just trying to get the damage down. DZ Esports have been eliminated, and Group Tie has been knocked down by HYK, who pressure the other team and look to avoid anybody getting revived, any pressure coming back onto them. And that is exactly what they're going to be able to do, is they're just going to try and find it. That bow check could be absolutely crucial in the late game and in this early stage. It's just providing them a little bit of long range, which they may well have otherwise not had CIMJ in a position of their own at the moment. Taking that high ground, they have a couple of teams that may well pressure them in a minute and may well just look to rotate. And once they rotate, they will actually find the CIMJ team, who are very much playing on the defensive, and they're changing their gameplay completely. And they're looking to camp and wait for the kill rather than go chasing. But yeah, HYK.
Now they're the ones on the run, and I believe with 30 seconds left on the clock, they're gonna have to make their way up to the circle. But again, it's they could get caught off guard while rotating as well, since there were so many teams. Although on their side of the map is a little bit clear, but they could run into some other players on the way there, so this could get intriguing. But meanwhile, LICS, they already are taking a fight, and it seems like the Pathfinder really wants to get aggressive. Perhaps they have dealt a bit of damage already, and they really don't want to let this one get away. But they almost ended up losing their shield while trying to get close. But there's one knockdown confirmed. Their teammates trying to rotate in as well. While by fire, they're just trying to survive, and they have been for so long. It seems like a really desperate effort at this point, because they have been engaged by so many different teams that for the most part that we've seen them, it's just them under pressure and trying to live by.
Yeah, well, it's just about soaking up pressure. HYK has been putting that pressure on other teams, although they've had a particularly notable quiet game as opposed to all the others. They've got those enemies scanned though, so they can see exactly where everybody is for a short amount of time, and they're just gonna try and, well, they're going to look through the wall to avoid everybody else, and it's going to be a huge rotation tool for them as they can just avoid everybody else. The Loba teleportation as well is going to help specifically another team going to that rotation, as I think they didn't really think about that zone coming in until it was all too late, and now they're having to suffer the consequences of fighting in this zone. And actually they're getting further into the zone, so they've got to hope that they've got something on them, and the Wraith getting knocked down, that's the one rotation that they could have possibly had unless they got the Pathfinder on, which they do. But it's interesting to see that they allowed that Wraith to go down just for the sake of rotation and trying to avoid it, as Axolotl's chasing this kill now right into the zone.
They still are sustaining damage from the circle, so any more engagements over here would be very, very bad for them. HYK also another team on the run, and that is happening with a lot of the teams, as I had mentioned earlier, that might. And the fact that there are so many teams waiting on edge for these teams to come in as well might not be a good thing for HYK, who are a possible contender to try and end things on this very game right here as well. But we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes down. Benelux Goats, they've not had good games at all. They've been one of the first teams to go down in practically every single game, and they are going to be the one that go down at number 15 this time as well. Axolots end up going down as well. That's going to give us only 13 squads remaining.
Yeah, the 13 squads remaining, so we have 7 squads eliminated and 31 players left in the lobby. So we have, with the zones coming in as well, we have 3, well, we are on round number 3, 30 seconds left in this one, and HYK looking like they're struggling to make it back into zone.
Yeah, it certainly is a struggle. HYK are hoping that there's nobody just waiting for them on edge of the circle, but having that balloon is gonna certainly help them out, see exactly where they're landing, and perhaps change their direction as well. But the run for the next round of circle is gonna start again immediately as they get into this one, so the run will not stop. And there's a team quite literally right next to them as well. That's gonna be Zaptem, who all 3 players are alive for and have all of their shields up, so this certainly is not going to be easy whatsoever. Equals, in the meanwhile, have been eliminated, and HYK are perhaps about to go down as well, as Ender ends up falling. It's going to leave the Pathfinder behind all by himself, and he's just currently trying to desperately survive to give his team a shot at winning out this game. But honestly, the probability just are not aligning with his dreams.
Not at the moment, but of course we could be seeing attacks later on as Goon Gang look to pressure. They're in the zone, but it doesn't matter because they've managed to knock down another team's player, and that is exactly what they would have wanted to see. Is they've got a game on right here, which is looking a lot more like they did yesterday, but LICS playing exactly how Goon Gang did yesterday, and that's 2 more squads gone down just like that. 3 even, as Byfire, Titans and 3 Brazilians have all been knocked out, and there's 8 squads remaining in this matchup. And a lot of team with half players. Goon Gang taking a lot of damage on the lifeline, and they're going to rotate. Well, there's a suggestion from the lifeline that they rotate, but it is completely ignored, and so they look to pressure down under. But yeah, it looks like an ill-fated decision, and he's going to try and get the hell out of there now. There's a bit of damage on the Crypto just to keep pressuring the player. That keeps putting the cameras on them and just throws them off. HYK, are they going to be able to get this respawn off? This would be absolutely sensational if so. And they are going for it. The respawn,
no.
3, 2, 1. HYK have 3 players back in the game. This is a crucial time for them to have done that. And that was an absolutely sensational play from the Pathfinder to get them right back up, as it is with 3R3R, with both their players on low health. But they are back in the game. But that was absolutely sensational from HYK. If they win this game now, you can put it down to that specific moment.
CIMJ are in the middle of the circle as well, and they're still alive and very well in terms of their health and in HP, but they might get rushed down from so many different directions, and they're not even working with a lot of cover right now. So CIMJ and HYK, 2 teams alive. Both of them have the potential to end the tournament right here amongst the 7 that are right now alive.
Yeah, 7 teams alive at the moment, and I'd expect that to come down very soon. This will be one of the teams going down very soon. Goon Gang losing the life, though, and, well, Goon Gang getting that kill off, and they may well get another one. The shield playing into effect, and LICS has been taken down by Goon Gang. I said that last time Goon Gang's battle would win the match then between them versus CIMS, but this time it has. It is most likely to decide the game once again. Goon Gang getting that kill off on LICS that has done so well in this battle and in this round specifically. And that is them down 3-3 now looking to pressure. But I don't think they've got enough in them as neither of them have any shield. And, well, they've just been bamboozled. That's another players. One of them actually does get the knockdown on one of the Goon Gang players, but when you're facing up against Goon Gang, there's not really much you can do, and it's another play where they've got the elimination. 3-3 have gone down, 5 squads remaining, and it's 3v3v3v3v3.
What's getting me excited right now is the fact that there are 5 teams alive and 2 of them have match points secured already. 2 of them could very easily, one of them could very easily win this game out and finish the whole tournament. The more teams that get eliminated, the greater the probability of one of them closing this game out. And Goon Gang have been having a wonderful performance in this game as well. They have more than 15 kills secured already. And this might be their comeback game, but it might just be a little too late because HYK and CIMJ, both of them are on the verge of victory right now. They can practically taste it, and if one of them ends up getting it, the tournament is over. And Goon Gang, perhaps they were a little too late at that point.
Yes, it could be too little too late. The Kraber, by the way, for one of the Goon Gang players, which in this sort of zone is not ideal. But we have seen a no-scope earlier on from one of the players using a 30-30. And so never say never for a Kraber no-scope. That would be incredible in the CCA Trios Finals with the $300 on the line. And Goon Gang, who have been absolutely nowhere in the first couple of matchups, hoping to do something in this third one, but they may well sneak up on behind Grandmaster Gooners. And they've gotten the kill off, so they are down to just the 4 squads remaining as Grandmaster Gooners have been knocked down. They have another battle on their hands as there is another knockdown. Extra has gone down. HYK has been taken out. Goon Gang playing this one to perfection. They've got another crucial kill. We're down to our final 3 squads, and you can thank Goon Gang for taking out 2 of the main contenders.
CIMJ still in the mix, but Goon Gang, it seems like they finally caught their breath and now are showing the signs of life that we saw yesterday. But CIMJ still online, still in this fight. It's them, Goon Gang, and another team, all of them having 3 people alive right now. So this could realistically go in any direction, and anyone could end up winning this one out. CIMJ get a knockdown. Goon Gang have lost up there already.
CIMJ get a knockdown. Goon Gang are down to just the 8th. Just the 2, and the game is down to just the 8. CIMJ going for a very defensive play that may well work out for them. This could be the final matchup of this evening that we get on our hands. Goon Gang now trying to take out the other team, trying to make it a battle between themselves and CIMJ for this victory. But they have had the momentum, they've had the pressure on, but they now crucially have 1 player missing. So that's changed up their strategy just that little bit. It means that they are going to have to be on the back foot a little bit, and they're just reviving their health. The lifeline and the lifeline and the Mirage could just play into effect and could just do something in this match. There's a lot of chip damage played off there, but a little bit of that recoil on the Rampage has meant that they get a little bit of counter chip damage. SYV going for a couple of pop shots with that 30-30 cannot quite get those 1 matched up, and the kill leader Negative is looking for the CMJ players, CMIJ players, or CIMJ players even. He is really attacking them right now and putting them under the biggest amount of pressure that he would possibly be able to. They've spotted an enemy, they've spotted somebody. Don't forget as well about the other team left in this one. It's 3 squads remaining. SYV, a bit of chip damage on him as well as Negative, and he are right out in the open. they're thinking about popping that health drone. I think they will if they take any more damage, as CIMJ still hide under the bridge, and nobody is wanting to attack right now. But as the zone closes in for the final round, we have 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining. We're going to have to get a winner very shortly, and Trash, Goon Gang, and CIMJ are the three teams that are left in this one. Trash getting a couple of shots off, and the Pathfinder is looking to attack. The Bangalore and the Mirage are just a little bit off of this one, but they may have the opportunity to fight their way back into this one. Bangalore climbing the blocks, but they are very much on the low ground. But that also means that they are not in this fight between Goon Gang and Trash right now.
Yeah, they're safe for the time being. Negative 72 has fallen. SYV barely surviving for the time being. And Goon Gang have been eliminated. CIMJ, 3 players alive. Up against 2 on the side of Trash. They get another knockdown. And CIMJ are your champions for the CCA Apex Weekend Tournament.
CCA Trios finals have been completed. CIMJ are your victors in the quickest possible time. They got to match point within 2 matches. They could have sealed it in the 3rd, but it was the 4th one where they were able to round it off and become the champions. What a victory for them. And well, that was exactly what they would have wanted to see. They and HYK made it to the finals and to the match point, but they rounded it out.
Yeah, it certainly was such an insane end to the game. We by numerous teams, whether it be in game number 2, whether it be in game number 5, game number 4, even Goon Gang themselves, when they came online, unfortunately losing that singular player to CIMJ early on costed them big time. It changed their whole game plan, because if they had that 3rd player, they could have been a little bit more aggressive, but they were just relying on that chip damage to be significant enough, and perhaps relying on Trash to try and 3rd party that fight. But Trash, they were very patient. CIMJ kept themselves isolated from the final 2 teams. They just let Goon Gang and Trash play themselves out, and once most of the players got eliminated, or Goon Gang themselves got eliminated, they rushed in, they cleaned out Trash, and ended up winning the tournament. It's a very wise and a very methodical play, and sometimes in situations like these, that is the answer.
Cleaned out Trash. You can make a pun about that, but I'm not going to, as well, we have our final standings for this evening's action upon us, as CIMJ ended it off with 70 points, HYK with the 63, the 2 teams in for it. And even if we'd finished that matchup now, we'd still, or even if we hadn't finished the matchup now, if they were able to get that victory off Trash, then we'd still only have 2 teams in contention. Goon Gang 3rd place with the 47 points. They got oh so close to being in contention. And Grandmaster Kunis are 4th place. Zesty in the top 5, and Zesty Bessie's in the top 5, rounding out the top 5. But it was so close yet so far from our victors of the first couple of lobbies of the first day of action. And well, I think Goon Gang could feel hard done by, but at the same time, they were the ones out on the map, and they were the ones who missed out.
Yeah, they certainly were, and CIMJ, of course, are our champions. HYK, they had a very great performance, considering that they were 11th spot. They got in here on a technicality because one team couldn't make it, and they showed such great prowess. Unfortunately for them, they just couldn't close out the tournament, but a nice attempt nonetheless. They still are the 2nd position team, but the CIMJ are the champions, and we will get a chance to talk to somebody from the side of CIMJ. But before we do so, we're going to take a short break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
well, we have the opportunity to speak to one of our victors here today. Leo, introduce yourselves. What's your game attack, and how are the team feeling after that victory?
Well, we had a pretty good set. My teammates did a lot of the heavy work. We were feeling kind of nervous in this last game because like we were getting chased by some of the other teams, like trying to like eliminate us, so we could play another game. But we fought hard and got the win at the end.
Yeah, it certainly was absolutely fantastic to see you guys win with such clean and very composed gameplay. But I want to talk about a few specific moments that you had in your game number two, actually, which you ended up winning. First, talk to me about the time you got rushed into that one particular building by three different squads, one after the other, and the final moment of game number two, where you guys were just left with one person standing, one knocked down, and one completely eliminated. How were the comms like that, or did you just leave it up to the Pathfinder to clutch it out in the end?
Oh no, yeah, that was pretty hectic in there. We got pushed by a lot of teams in that game. It was the comms were pretty good. We were like, I said to him like, you can either play res or go 1v1 him, and he decided to like get me up because I have like better utility. By doing the spiral, it helped us win that game. It did a lot for us in that game.
Yeah, I mean, you guys certainly did turn that final battle upside down completely. But one more thing that I would like to ask you is that you guys have remained pretty consistent in this tournament. You guys ended up at the top of your lobby yesterday. You guys did great today, winning out 2 games out of the 4 that have happened. And even in the last one, as you said, there was a bit of an attitude adjustment with teams trying to hunt you down, trying to eliminate you, so that there's a possibility for another game. You guys still remained pretty consistent, took the fights that you needed. What do you think is the key to being so consistent, so composed all throughout the nervousness, all throughout the hunt, and even high pressure games?
Yeah, well, pretty much we handled that by like speaking to ourselves, like what do we want to do, why, and stuff like that. Also, CMG helps us like motivate us to play this game a lot. We grind. Uh, my teammates are also pretty talented, so it's just a combination of all those three things that help us like stay composed.
I was going to say just before we finish off, I want to say, have you got any shout outs for anybody? I mean, I know you just shouted somebody out, but have you got any more?
Yeah, I want to shout out the owner CMG that helps us like play and like whatever thing we need, he provides for us. He helps us a lot. Also, well, my teammates and everybody in the org that helps us play this game at a comp level, like tier 2.
That's fair enough, and well done today, and enjoy your winnings, and we'll see you back for the next Apex event, hopefully.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting this. It was pretty cool. Appreciate it.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, I've got thanks to make as well, because this is my debut event, and it has been very good. But we have now more events.
Yeah.
Sorry? Yes, well done, Leo. Well done, Leo. Sorry about that one. Well done, Leo, for that one. I thought he'd said something. He hadn't, but anyway, that's fine. We have a few more events coming up very, very soon. The next Apex Trios event will be in a month's time, the 30th of August, at this time 3 p.m. EST, so a little bit later, but still a similar amount of incredible action on Apex. But coming up very soon, or specifically in 2 weeks' time, we have our Street Fighter 6 tournament coming up on August the 8th at 8 p.m. EST, so that should be a very it's a different game, that's very, very true, but it's a very, very good game nonetheless. And then we'll have our Marvel Rivals competition that is on August the 16th at 12 p.m. EST. Those are the next organised events coming up very soon that you can get involved in as quickly as you possibly can or want to, and hopefully we'll see you out there.
Yeah, and as you said, in a month's time we are gonna have the Apex Trios as well. But for this tournament, to use the match arena, which has been in the text chat for Twitch is still going to be active for the next 24 hours. So if you got, or in the Apex announcement, if you guys are in the C Corena's Custom Arena Discord channel, so if you guys would help us out and give these teams some extra winnings and some such, if you guys were entertained, then feel free to do so. The link is going to be active for the next 24 hours, still further. So feel free to do so if you'd like to. Otherwise, that's completely fine. But it certainly has been an interesting day, and I really look forward to coming back next month because some of the action that we saw was absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, just the fact that Goon Gang had such an incredible game yesterday, and today they fell off quite a bit in the first three, and then they were right back on that horse for the fourth game, just speaks a lot about, you know, the versatility that we have in such tier 2 Apex tournaments.
Yes, it was a game of very different strategies. We saw teams going passive, we saw teams going aggressive, and in the end, we had our victors, and they very much deserved that victory after winning Lobby 2 yesterday. It was a kind of an unknown because we watched Lobby 1 all evening, but yeah, it was a very, very good performance from them. That will be it for us this evening, and from us more specifically, but thank you very much for joining us this evening. Make sure to join us for Street Fighter 6 very, very soon, and until next time, it is goodbye.